Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Tackle Shop Live.
Sunny day, right there you took my breath away. Young and pretty, was it just a dream? The next day you called me up, you told me I'm your little buttercup. You came over and you fell into my arms. Well, I know what I feel. Please.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Tackle Shop Live. Good to see everybody. Scott, rock off. How are you, man? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah. Jeremy the Fett, Robert Murray. How are you doing, buddy? Hope things are good down in Tennessee. Jim Saban, E-Stacks Fishing, Bob Donahue, Lane Graves, Scott Shope. What's up, Scott? John Paul, it's good to see you. Jay Sandberg, how are you doing, man? Willow Street, yeah, baby. That's down my area. That's my town there, buddy. Yeah, it's been raining here for 3 days. You better believe it. We love the rain. We need it. We need it bad here. I did notice the river came up a tweak, but not very much. We need it to come a lot more. I guarantee you that much. Robert Mills, how you doing? Joseph Cascarino, what's up, buddy? Mike Hayer, how are you, pal? Johnny Cobb, Kirk Blackenor, Dave Schottlemeyer. Good to see you, Dave. Conway Hayden, hey, Conway, how's everything, pal? Ray Cruz, 717, baby, you better believe it. Lisa Lake, Mark, what's up, man? Yak and River Rat, what's up, man? Mike Hayer likes the ring of the week. Well, we got another one for you this week for sure, guaranteed. Frank Garvey's here. Jerry Kreiser. Part-time Nick. Yeah, I know he's not going to make it. He has family duty tonight. You know how it is. Got kids. You got to run them around. Charlie Sandball, how are you, pal? Raymond Barton. Jim Horwig. Smalley Chaser channel. I like that, buddy. You better believe it. Al Orlmold, how are you, man? Kenny Hodgins. The great Kenny Hodgins is in the house. Yeah, good to see everybody. All the OGs are here tonight. Man, there's a bunch of guys here. My name is Mike Acord. This is George Acord. We're Tackle Shop Live. We come at you every Thursday night at 7 o'clock sharp, and we talk tackle. We talk fishing. We talk a little bit of everything, you know. Who knows what we're going to get into? You guys know that for sure. Man, we had been getting some rain, and we've been needing, huh, George?
Oh, yeah.
Gosh.
About time.
About time.
You know, and the trick is be careful what you wish for because it is hurricane season.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
You know, historically, the East Coast, you know, gets just rocked.
Yeah.
And so we're actually getting a nice, slow, steady.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's going to affect our river a whole lot, but the overall, the whole region, it's really good for.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been getting a really nice rain here. It's well needed in our area. Hopefully the river will come up a little bit for everybody so we can get out and about with us jet boaters who are scared to death to run the real shallow water.
Well, you know what else the rain's good for? And I remember we talked about this multiple times on, you know, like high muddy water shows.
Mm-hmm.
You know, take advantage of if you do have some localized heavy rain and you can get out fishing, take advantage of those in runs.
Yeah.
Because after a long dry period, any little like current focused current
Yeah.
They flock to it.
Oh,
they just, the fish just flock to it. It's almost like going to the water park. They're going to the water park.
They're going down the slides.
They're going to the water park.
Splash Mountain. I like it.
They're in. They're all in.
I like it. Yeah, so we had a great fishing trip with Greg DePalma over the weekend. I was unable to make it. You know, I wasn't feeling real good. So I didn't want to push it. I was exhausted from our weekend. We had the big kayak tournament, and I was exhausted, and I just didn't want to get down and dirty, you know.
Wow.
It was ugly.
I would have probably not even said that out loud.
But what was cool about it was I was able to watch the live, and man, you guys caught the fish. You guys did well.
One assignment.
Yeah. Go out and catch them. They caught some nice fish and had some great tips on there. Greg DePalma, man, I can't say enough about that guy. He's so good with tips and tricks and explaining what he's doing and helping the SFT crew out and the SFT family to learn more and gain more information so we can go out and catch more fish. I mean, that was just that's what it was all about for us, you know.
Yeah, it was interesting because we fished a cross section. We fished super shallow current.
Yeah.
And that was one whole set of techniques.
Yeah.
And then we went largemouth fishing in grass with flipping and frogging.
Yeah.
And that was a whole nother set of techniques. Then we went offshore open water scoping. And that was a whole nother set of techniques. And then we ran it all in reverse.
Yeah.
We went back through every one of those zones.
Yeah.
Doing the same stuff later in the day, and just learned the effects of color choice a little more. Saw the effects of follow-up baits.
Yep.
Different ideas for follow-up baits, and it was a really good time. We caught a pile of fish.
Yeah, and everybody, and if anybody missed that content, you can go onto our Facebook page and check it out, because it's going to be up there for 30 days, and you can watch the live on there, check it out, and expand your education as I did watching it on Sunday. So that was cool. Really cool stuff going on there. Yeah, so cameraman Nick isn't here. He has some family duties. He has to take care of. His wife's busy, so he has to run the kids to 3 different spots all at the same time. So he doesn't know how he's going to do that. So good luck, Nick, with that, because you're going to need it running kids everywhere. So I know what that's all about. But yeah, we had our tournament over the weekend. It was fun. It was a good time. We had hamburgers and hot dogs here on Friday, which was cool. Gave out a lot of stuff, and big shout out thanks to 13 Fishing and New Holland Auto Group for all their support for our events. That was just great and worked out really well. So yeah, it was a fun time. It was
a very interesting event. For many years, those of you who follow the show, we do a traditional bass boat tournament, SummerSlam, which many years ago started out as Fall Bash.
Fall Bash, yeah.
So, and it's a very unique format, and it draws a huge crowd. We had 199 boats this year. And, many of the people we work with in the industry for a long time have been, really a little more than suggesting that we do a kayak tournament and put that same sort of stamp on it. And our one particular rep that's really been vocal about it, works for Rapala, and he took it up the flagpole and talked to, he went all the ways to the top, all the ways up to Matt Jensen.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, we've been waiting for you to ask, because we love it.
Yeah.
We absolutely love the whole concept of, getting another group of anglers involved in this type of a format. And lo and behold, smashing success. Can't wait for next year.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, we're going to have to supersize for next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, we can't, we're going to have to go. This was the test market. And it was interesting. We got calls from all kinds of people in the kayak industry, you know, and we're not per se in the kayak industry. I mean, tackle wise we are, support wise we are, tournament wise we are, fishing wise we are, but not kayak equipment.
Yeah.
And we got all kinds of calls from Tourney X called, a number of kayak people that we know called, and everybody was like, wow, outstanding turnout. Well done. And, you know, I thank the anglers.
Yeah.
You know, the anglers saw the value.
Yeah.
There's really nothing else touching the payout.
Right.
And the value of a free $100 rod.
That was awesome.
Of high quality.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And, you know, it's kind of like if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
And I thank the anglers for showing up.
Yeah.
We had such a great night here Friday night at registration. It was just awesome. We got to meet.
Yeah.
I met guys from like 7 or 8 different states.
Yeah,
we came up to fish.
We had 9 states represented here.
Yeah,
which was really cool.
That was very interesting. I had some awesome conversations there, and of course the store was hopping and popping. The grills were hot. It was a great time.
Yeah.
Can't wait for next year.
But George, the greatest story of all.
Yes.
Our very own Lisa Lake Mark.
Yes.
He was like, these guys are doing this tournament, and he fishes the Summer Slam. He's like, I got to get involved somehow. So he goes out and rents a kayak.
I know.
And fished a tournament.
Him and his buddy.
Yep.
They
They rented kayaks, and they were like, we're going to see what this is all about, man. They got all involved. They did their crash course on Friday night with us, and we got them all squared away, and they went out and had a great time. And I thought it was the greatest thing ever, man, for him to get all fired up and do that. So, Mark, congratulations, buddy, on fishing that tournament. That was cool as hell. I think you went all out on it. I wish I had a prize for you because for effort, because that was a great effort for you to go out there and do that. So,
well, and again, Mike, you know, one of our goals is to introduce people to, in this case, kayak tournament fishing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I know from my interactions with people, there was a number of new to kayak tournaments, not new to kayak fishing, but new to kayak tournaments. As a matter of fact, I talked with several of them, and they had a freaking blast. They love the tournament. They're already like, when's next year's date?
Yeah.
And which we'll get that all figured out quick, so we can get, you know, once we figure out where all the tours are going to go, and how we fit in without stepping on anybody's toes, you know, we'll give you plenty of time to plan your schedule.
Yeah.
And of course, that's how we do things.
Yeah.
But yeah, great experience for the newbies and the veterans. Yep. I saw a bunch of really hardcore tournament guys here. Well, if you come from 9 different states, you're a pretty hardcore tournament guy. So yeah,
a big
really good event.
A big shout out to Tourney X too. I mean, how awesome is that app and that whole deal on how they do that? That was the first time for me to see that. And Dwayne, I got a chance to talk with him the other night, and just a great stand-up guy, a great product, easy to use. Easy for the anglers, easy for the tournament guys. It's just a great product, man. That Tourney X is really the real deal, and you can't get enough of that. If you guys are ever thinking about doing a tournament, I suggest Tourney X. It just made it super easy for a guy that really didn't know anything about it. You know, it really made it easy for everybody to see how that works. And Dwayne just, you know, he did that all himself, and hats off to you, brother. Great job with that app and that whole process. Really worked well. So excited about that, excited about working with you guys again. So Yeah, that's it. That's the deal with the tournament, and
A wrap up.
that's our wrap up on that. But now we got some serious business we have to talk about, and that is what we do the best, because we're a tackle shop and we love talking about tackle. And this is called Tackle Talk. Yeah. Man, I tell you what, we're a tackle shop. We love messing with tackle. We mess with tackle every single day. We're lucky. I had a guy come in and was saying something to me about the trucks coming in and the boxes and you know, what's it like? And I told him, I said, it's like Christmas in here every single day, because he was like, well, you guys know when all the stuff's coming in, and we don't really. We kind of get an idea when stuff's supposed to come in. But just today we got some stuff that was ordered, what, a year ago?
Yeah.
It was ordered a year ago, and it just showed up, and we're like, look at this.
That's an outlier.
Yeah, that was an outlier. And it showed up, and we were like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is great. It's like Christmas in here every single day.
Well, I don't really call it Christmas.
I do. I love
Not
it.
when I'm unloading the trucks. It doesn't feel like Christmas.
Yeah, but it's cool to see all that cool product rolling in here. So, George, what do you got, man? What's new? What's hot? What is the deal in the world of tackle?
Well, you know, it's fall, and fall time is like hard bait time, cranking, moving, swim baits, Topwater. So I got a little bit of that.
Oh, nice.
And I've got the new Screaming Chapo.
Yeah.
And this is from Berkeley. Now, the Chapo, which was a copy of the Whopper Plopper, is a very good alternative. In some cases, it has a different sound, so in some cases it may work better for you, to the Whopper Plopper. So, you know, and it comes in all kinds of sizes, you know, 3 sizes, tons of colors, saltwater versions. I mean, you just can't get enough Chapo in your life if you're Berkeley. So now we have the Screaming Chapo. All right. A little different body shape. You'll see it's a little bulkier. This is the 95 size. So it's you know, it's a little just a hair bulkier than the 90 on the regular Chapo. So if you're trying to get a grip on size, you know, you got the horizontal line tie as opposed to the vertical line tie. You got the fusion trebles. These are money right out of the box. These are fusion trebles. That's spelled BKK. But the difference is back in the back here, and it's not really something you're going to see on the camera real well. But I'm gonna attempt to move this tail. Yeah, very beautiful shot, Mike. I'm gonna attempt to move this tail a little bit, and kind of give you a little bit of a. There's like little metal protrusions coming off the back of that tail, and then you have that fixed rivet. This rivet is fixed, and the water pressure of this tail grinding on that, you get a buzzbait sound, a well-tuned buzzbait sound. The tail's a little harder than the original Chapo, so you know if you're in the hot sun or you got them packed into your tackle box, you won't deform this tail. It's still got a little movement to it, but it's much harder. So this is a 3/4 of an ounce for the 95 size. Now there is a bigger size. We're just focusing on the 95 size here, which is arguably one of your most popular sizes. It's in that in-between zone between like the big 110, 120, and the smaller ones. So 3/4 of an ounce, plenty of colors. This is Perfect Ghost, which of course is a Perfect Ghost. And then we have a Stealth Shad. It's kind of got that little bit of a translucent body with that little bit of little purple hue to it almost. Clear belly. And then we have a really good bluegill imitator. We have a ghost bluegill. And again, we have the clear translucent belly, but then getting on the sides, we get that perch / bluegill. There's even some minnows in our river that are barred up like that. So very, very good representation of those baits. Here's more of a truer like bluegill matte, kind of a matte color, solid, opaque. Just a light touch of a little bit of peach or orange on it. Look at that. Again, perch, bluegill, very, very good. And of course, you got to have bone. And there's also a yellow bone, which is a direct copy of the River to Sea bone. That once it looks real yellow, they just straight up dead nuts copied that. There's a couple more. Of course, you got to have the white, and this is the ghost white. They do a really good job with that color. And then your translucent ghosty belly. And then the last one we'll show you tonight is the shad, the MF shad, which I really like the red on the tail, on the prop. And I like the, a shad bait is got that dark back, that two-tone. Good stuff. Yeah, so $14.99, 95 millimeter, 3/4 of an ounce, outfitted with Berkeley Fusion trebles. I'm going to say size 4. And yeah, good stuff. So check them out. And yeah, we got the Capital City Bassmasters checking in, and they're on a club trip to the St. Lawrence River. So Miles McKetta, thanks for you guys for reaching out and watching. Paul Flieger, hello from upstate New York. Do you know when Bass Fest will be? Why, absolutely, Paul. Give me 1 second. All right, Paul, it's January the 9th and the 10th. That's your Bass Fest. We'll get all those dates out to you. They're all set. Smallmouth Saturday set, Cabin Fever set. Everything's set except for the tournaments. SummerSlam is set. We'll get all those dates out for you. And then hopefully in about the next 2 weeks, we'll have the Susquehanna Kayak Classic set. To give you guys plenty of time to plan your schedule. We're going to bring the first quarter kicking and screaming. Everybody's going to be so fired up to fish. Yeah, we got a bunch of pros lined up already. So that's all looking good. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Craig Anderson, good to see you, Craig. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're just joining us now, we are doing our famous Tackle Talk segment where we talk and break down some new baits, rods, reels, what have you. And we're going to do all the above tonight. So first up, we just did the Screamin' Chapo. You can check those out on sfttackle.com. Now we're going to bring you something that we're going to call the Showstopper. We're bringing you the Showstopper early. Okay? So this is it. You've heard about it. You've been waiting for it. It's here, baby. The Strike King Hogfather Jr. I mean, come on now. Come on now. Let's talk about this. I got Mike behind the camera, so I can't really get his input. I'm going to need some of him back here. He might just leave the camera where it is and come around and join us. Oh, he's going.
I'm going to pull it over here.
He's going.
I'm going to pull it over here, bro.
He's going camera mic. He's running a camera mic.
Camera mic. The Hogfather.
You know about this bait, don't you?
I mean, first of all, there's a lot of different baits out there floating around, and a lot of there's good ones and there's a lot of bad ones. So when I was doing my research on this, George, and you had the guy right face to face and you talked to him, but
I got the Tater coming on.
Yeah,
Tater's coming on the show.
Tater Hog is a guy from North Carolina who got into designing baits for, back I think 14 or 15 years ago is when he started doing it. And
he's like one of the OG garage
he
guys.
He's a garage guy who started and designed his own thing on a certain type of thing. And Strike King is, really a bait company, but really known for spinner. They started as a spinnerbait company and then they went into plastics and all that kind of stuff. But they, they're a big company and they have a lot of friends. And one of the guys that works there, his best friend is Tater Hog, the guy who designed this bait. And his boss went up to him and said, listen, I want you, we got to do a glide bait. We need you to come up with a glide bait. So he went out and reached out to Tater Hog and said, listen, we want to do this. And he's like, man, I would love to have this bait into more people's hands, a more affordable version of it. And they did it, and they worked hand in hand with Tater Hog to make this bait do what his original resin bait does. So that's kind of the backstory on that, George.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that because Nick and I got a chance to talk to him at ICAST. So this is a 7-inch bait, which I got to tell you, the whole 7-inch thing, it's an average. It sounds like a big bait, but it's an average size, really acceptable sized glide that matches the forage base in almost every body of water you're going to fish. If you're fishing a gizzard shad body of water, you're going to have gizzard shads that are far larger than this. You're going to have the old adults we call mud shads. They're like a foot long, some of them. Yeah, this would be like a 2-year-old gizzard shad, or depending on where you're at, maybe even less time frame than that. But you've got the closest representation to one of the Tater Hog resin baits that you're going to get in an ABS plastic bait. Okay, you're going to have the standard glide, the S motion swimming glide. You're going to have the really pronounced chops, traits that we're all looking for. You're going to be able to manipulate this bait in a multitude of ways as you learn to fish it and get better with it. This thing is set up for success right out of the get-go. So we have swiveling hook hangers. I have a tendency to stick hooks in my hand, so I'm trying to do this without doing that. These are sharp, and they're trying to get me. We have upgraded O-rings, split rings. These are not your standard split ring. These are heavy-duty, overkill split rings. We have EWG 1/0 hooks. I mean, right out of the box, that's about a 3X hook. It's not an overkill, big, heavy-duty barbarian hook. We even have the heavy-duty split ring on the nose. Now, you may or may not keep this hardware the way it is. I know a lot of you glide bait guys that are experienced glide bait guys like to make modifications on hooks, split rings, and that's great because we are very fortunate. If you go and check out Owner, if you go and check out Gamakatsu, Those companies produce, Gamakatsu has a super line split ring. Owner has a hyperwire split ring. Very, very strong for their size. Much, much skinnier diameter than these. This is a stainless. So we have a bunch of colors. We have, and I'm just going to show you a few of them here. So this one here has been pretty popular so far. 1 day into sales. This is the chrome herring. So, we got a lot of reflection there, some white on the belly. There's even there's even a little bit of violet and green up in here. It's hard to see in the package. There you got a really good picture there, Mike. That's chrome herring. Of course, you saw the bone. Here's an interesting one. This is called spot remover. Something about spotted bass and glide baits. It's kind of like smallmouth and glide baits. Check this out. Spot remover. We got that chartreuse shad line, translucent. We've got that violet. Pretty awesome, huh? What else we got here? Oh, Mike's got them on deck for me. I don't think I even got all the colors. I just grabbed some. We have to keep some surprises, do we not? Real gill. Real gill. What I like about real gill is it's got that olive and that blue glimmer. They should have called it real bait fish because it's for everybody. We got a little something for everybody. And then we showed you the bone. Here's the bone. See that hook? That hook wants me. The bone has that nice silver back on it. Comes with a spare tail too, guys. You got your original tail attached, your spare tail. The packaging is spectacular. Everything is locked in place. None of these tails are going to get bent in the package. Okay, that's your bone. And then the last one we got here, which may end up being the top seller. Maybe Bone will have that. That usually does. Ghost herring. This is a universal bait fish pattern. Very lifelike. You've got the spot, the shad spot. You've got the little bit of ghostiness to it. You've got the little bit of blue glimmer. You've got the olive. You've got the dark back. So let's go over the numbers here. 7-inch, 2.5 ounce, 1/0 trebles, and the price is going to be awesome. It's $44.99. $44.99. William Clute. Yeah, you're going to throw that Zara Spook out there, William Clute. I'll jump on that. You tell old Hank and Joe to get ready. Yeah, so we're really excited about the Hogfather. When we ran into that at the ICAST show, it was a slam the brakes on, skid into home plate kind of moment. We love fishing the glide bait as well as most of you. It's very exciting. It's almost like hunting.
Yeah, George. I mean, the big thing for me was when we took it out of that package, because I wasn't down at ICAST, unfortunately. But when we took that out of the package here and I grabbed a hold of that thing, the quality is
solid.
It's exceptional. I mean, it really is. And I guess that goes all the way back to that Tater Hog being involved. They were all about this balance, and the balance is so important on his baits, and for them to do what they do really well. and they nailed this thing. They got it as close as possible to the resin bait, and
it feels solid.
It just feels good. The paint jobs are very super high quality. You're not going to have a bait that's going to tear all up on you. It's just a quality bait.
Feels great.
Yeah. Excited about that thing.
The other thing that's nice about this size class is you can throw it on a rod that you already have. You know, you could easily throw this on your flipping stick. You know, if you have a heavy, let's say you're new to glide baiting and you don't have a rod dedicated. You got a heavy flipping stick, you're in business. You got an A-rig rod, a heavy A-rig rod, you're in business. So it'll adapt to a lot of setups. 20-pound fluorocarbon, if that's what you like to throw, you're in business. That's how I'm throwing mine. I'm throwing mine on 20-pound fluoro. Mike and I got a little derby on Sunday, and we're going down. We're going to call it the ICAST pattern. We're going to have all of our ICAST samples rigged up now that the stuff's coming in. We're going to be tater hogging and El Chapoing and all kinds of good stuff. And we'll give you the rundown on how those baits perform in the sprite lights of the tournament world. So there you go. The Hogfather Jr. I mean, pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. We got unlimited bandwidth, so you can jump on there and go crazy. We'll get your order shipped tomorrow. You'll be slinging the old tater hog on the weekend. Well, next weekend. Okay, let's talk. Let's mix it up a little bit. Let's jump into a spinning reel. And I want to reply to Mike Colfer here. Don't sleep on that 7.7 X Pride. Correct Amundo, my friend. That is a outstanding swim bait rod. And if you're lucky enough to have one, good for you. I don't know when that next batch is going to hit our soil, but I don't think we have any of those 7.7s in stock. I'll tell you what I'm throwing, Mike. And it's not a rod you would associate as a glide bait rod, but I love it. It's an 8-foot extra double X heavy punching rod in X Pride. And I find it to be a wonderful glide bait rod for my bigger glides. I love it. I love it to death. So, you know, without getting too crazy there, we have, for all you glide bait guys and all you guys that want to dip your toe in the water and try it, we can get you into a rod and reel for a very reasonable price. We can also take you the whole ways up to the stratosphere. We are like the low hundreds. We can even find you something a little less than that. And we're all the ways up to pushing the 1K barrier. And we got all the price points in between. Very, very many swim bait rods here at the shop. If you ever want to come in and talk rod, we're ready. But anyways, jumping back to this, we're going to talk about a spinning reel. Mike, the Daiwa Ballistic.
Pretty real.
Well, I was, and I was a little like, why are we redoing the Ballistic?
Yeah.
I was a little like, the first generation of Ballistic.
Awesome.
I mean, it's literally, without going crazy on, an Exist or something of that nature, it's literally, I mean, this is my opinion. I probably shouldn't interject it in there, but I'm going to. It's literally one of the best spinning reels that Daiwa makes. So now we have the second generation, which is very, very similar. Okay. The body is what changed for the most part. We went from a Zion to a Zion 5. Okay. Could be Zion V. I'm not sure how they want that said. I'm going with Zion 5.
Must be better.
Well, it sounds like something you'd land on the moon.
Yeah.
Tranquility base. This is the Zion 5. We're very touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Zion 5 is on Mars. Yeah. I think that's the Mars rover. Scion 5 Rover.
We have that one-piece strong bale wire. You got to check that out. How that's all like machined and formed. So there's no little notch there your line can catch on. We have a ball bearing line roller, but the ball bearing is mag oil sealed.
That's freaking awesome.
So no dirt, no sand.
Yeah.
You want to fish this in salt water? You go right ahead.
Yeah.
No sand, no dirt's going to get in that bearing right there. And if you think about it, as you're reeling, it's just water just slopping off of there, right?
Right.
Every one of them has gone to a power handle. Hold on. Ride the wave. 2,000. Yep. 2,500. 3,000. You can see that 3,000 knob's a little bigger than that 2,000, that 2,500. 3,000 right here. Okay. A little different. EVA, very dense. MQ body. So no side plate. No traditional take the screws out, pull the side plate off. This is a big plate that threads in. Screw that out of there.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's very tight. Very, very little chance of weather getting in there.
Makes it really into a one-piece body.
Makes it solid.
Yeah,
like
very, very solid, like a one-piece body.
And this Zion 5, I'm going to tell you, you cannot flex this. You can't flex it, okay? It doesn't flex.
Yeah.
It's like aluminum, but it weighs a lot less. Carbon drag washer, corrosion-resistant bearing on the mag oil tuned bearing on the spool shaft, and a corrosion-resistant bearing on the handle on both sides. CRBB. So
they got it covered.
This baby's ready. It's got 6, in addition to the 2 corrosion-resistant bearings, it's got 6 stainless bearings on the inside of the reel that generally do not come in contact with water. Smooth. I mean, this is like butter. Okay, some stats. Let's hit you with some stats. So we have on the 2,000, which is this guy right here. Nope. This guy right here, 2,000. Here's a 2,000. Here's a 2,500. 2,000, 2,500. So on your 2,000, you are 5.8 ounces. That's light. Okay. Your 2,500 and your 3,000, 6.2 ounces. That's light. Okay. 2,500, 3,000. Different size bodies, too.
Is it different size bodies on all 3 of them?
Yeah. And I'm just going to say this is heavier than this one, but it's not much. There we are. Big dispute. Okay. The 2,000, 5.8 to 1 gear ratio, 30 inches of line per crank. That brings in on a full spool, 30 inches of line. Okay. 2,500 and the 3,000 are both 6.2 to 1 gear. 2,500 is 34 inches of line. The 3,000 is 36 inches of line. So when you're working your bait, why is that important? When you're working your bait on the bottom. Now, if you're finesse fishing on the bottom, drop shot, Ned rig, what have you, Nico rig, and you get that bite and you're up here, you can pick up a lot more slack with, that 6.2 to 1, 34 to 36, which is where it's all about. So I would definitely consider for your bottom bait type rods, for your 7 foot to 7.6 type rods, I would definitely consider 2,500 to 3,000. Try to get out of that mindset of smaller is better in a reel, because it's not. It's not. The 2,000 is really well suited to that light to ultralight rod. Perhaps you trout fish on a bigger body of water. You're a crappie fisherman. You're doing like ultralight bass fishing or light bass fishing, and you have a 6-foot light, something of that nature, 6'6" light. They're fantastic. Okay. They're just fantastic. The drag on the 2,000 produces 11 pounds of drag. And the 2,500 and the 3,000 is 22 pounds of drag. And that's simply a function of the size of the drag washer. So that is the Daiwa Ballistic. I do want to mention the price is $239.99. I know Mike's got some insight for me here on this too.
Well, I mean, the Ballistic last year was, and when it first came out, kind of took over the whole, Daiwa case. It was just a very popular reel. People who have it are very, very are happy with it. But this new one, I mean, with the Zion 5 body and all the features in that mag sealed rollers and the mag sealed, the oscillation where the spool shaft goes through, the anti-reverse bearing being mag sealed. It's a reel that you're going to have for many, many, many years. It's just, it's a durability thing.
This is long term.
This is a durability reel that you're going to have for many, many years, and the price is just is not bad.
Yeah, these are they're Digicut gears, which are thicker teeth.
Yeah,
good material, very little wear. We're getting questions on the nomenclature. Are they straight 2,500s? Are they 2,500 Ds? You jump on the website, check out the spec page. This 2,500 right here is a 2,500 D, which means the spool's a little deeper. XH, which means it's 6.2 to 1. The 3,000 is also a D, which means the spool's a little deeper. XH, which means it's 6.2 to 1. So
I think the D gives you versatility, allows you to use that reel for all different situations and lines and line sizes. I mean, and that reel right there, I'm going to be, I have some reels that I use for multi-species, and this is a reel that you can do multi-species with because it does have the deeper spool and has the capacities for all different types of fishing.
Well, that's true. Easily go chase inland fisheries like redfish, no problem. Striper fishing, no problem. In your mid-range, like flounder fishing, no problem. If that's what you're into, also great bass. The nice thing about the 3,000, if you're somebody who's spooling your reel with fluoro and not braid, that 3,000, that diameter difference is getting you, 2,500, 3,000. That diameter difference, 2,500, 3,000. That on a full spool, that's wrapping that fluoro in a larger diameter coil, and fluoro likes that. So if you're a guy that doesn't fish braid and you fish fluoro, definitely check out the 3,000. Had a question on which generation this is. This would be the second generation of the MQ body. Back in the day, there was a Ballistic. This is the Ballistic MQ LT. So this is the second generation. Price $239.99. Not terrible. That is not a terrible price when you're getting into like that type of reel. And the low, you'll forget about the price long before you're ready to give up on that reel. As far as the spool depths and the use of braid, listen, if you're putting braid on anything, the first thing you're doing is putting backing on. If you're a bass fisherman, you don't want more than 100 yards of braid on your reel. 150 max. You know, you're going to fill that reel up with backing. Okay, so it's irrelevant. If it's shallow, you put on less backing. If it's deep, you put on more backing. But yeah, that is your Daiwa Ballistic MQLT. And because of the everybody seems to be digging this, I'm going to give you one. We're going to go into a bonus round here. We're going to get a soft plastic bait out. We haven't talked about a soft plastic bait. We're all junkies for a good soft plastic bait. So we're going to go with a new arrival from Strike King. Strike King's getting some love tonight.
I mean, how can you not like Strike King?
I love their plastics.
I mean, that company for us, we're 37 years, going on 37 years in business, George. And from where Strike King was from day one when we went into business to now, I mean, what a great company. What a awesome, designs and product and innovation and pro staff to come up with this innovation, and all the pros that are on there, how great they are and where this company just really came from. I mean, how can you not like it?
Killer.
Yeah.
So first of all, I love the packaging. So this is the new Rage Hog. Think brush hog and rage bait. But none of your tails are getting dinged up in here. There is 6 baits in here. Everybody's locked in place. Everything's perfectly straight. And then it's reusable. So you can just pop that open and open that up and pull out the Rage Hog. Now I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm going to pull these appendages free from their mold. If you like fishing a brush hog, you can leave these attached here, or you can pull them free, depending on how much kick you want, or you can take them off. If you like to fish a brush hog, I mean, talk to me, son. Talk to me. We got the Rage flappers. You want a smaller punch bait. You're punching Matt. You're running out of punch baits. Tear all these appendages off. Bite that back. You now have a punch bait. You want a trailer for your chatterbait or your swim jig. Tear them off or leave them on. I would tear them off. You got a trailer for that. Flipping, or my favorite for this bait is Carolina rigging. This is a Carolina rigging / flipping. Those are my 2 favorites. In the spring of the year, I almost exclusively flip brush hog style baits and beaver style baits, with the nod to the brush hog style bait if I can get bit. They have some really unique colors here. We have a blue crawl, which is a green pumpkin blue swirl with a red flake, as opposed to just a straight blue crawl. I'm only going to show you like the really unique colors, just because they're badass. Check this one out. Now, I'm going to have to take them out to show them to you, so enjoy the ride. This is a treat. This color here is new, a new Strike King color, and it's called Rage Hog. It's called Rage Hog. I mean, Fire Hog, Fire Pumpkin. Trying to read the label and take it out of the pack at the same time. Here we go. Fire Pumpkin. Fire Pumpkin, getting one out. Here we go. Here we go. Fire Pumpkin. Look at this. Green pumpkin with a I don't know what you'd call that, a red orange belly. Man, look at that. Whoo, son. Look at that trailer for your green pumpkin chatterbait when they're in the dirty water in the spring. Look at that for flipping in that dirty grass in the spring. Wow. So cool. And again, we're only going to look at a couple of the new colors. So this one is called Mud Candy. Wait till you see this. So this is kind of like a green pumpkin watermelon blend with candy, meaning red and green flake. Man, would you look at that? Mud candy. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And we have next for you grape whiskey. This when I saw this color, I was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is getting in my collection. Cuz you got your green pumpkin and instead of the blue cross swirl, you've got like a violet swirl. I mean, come on now. Texas rig that thing and flip that into some cover. And watch out. Grape whiskey. Yeah, what we got last year? Well, green pumpkin. We don't have to show you that. So that is your Rage Hog, $7.99. Your 5-inch has 6 in a pack. We'll show you the 4-inch when they come in. And that is also Tackle Talk for the night. Hope you enjoyed.
Oh, yeah. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Man, that Rage Hog, I'm excited for. That one there, one of them is not going to make it back into rotation because I'm taking that mother with me.
We're on a Carolina rig yet.
For sure for this weekend. For you guys that I'm competing against, I'm going to be kicking your ass with that freaking bait right there.
Carolina rig.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's
bro.
going down. Coffee scent.
Oh, yeah.
Rage tail kicking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
You know how we did with that other one that we always throw down there?
Yeah, the game hog.
Game hog, which we praised high praise.
Oh, we love the game hog.
The rage aspect of it is a lot more kick. They're getting all fired up and they want more kick, so I'm gonna throw that sucker.
So now we got the brush hog.
Yep.
We got the baby brush hog.
Yep.
We got the mid-size brush hog.
Yep.
We got the 5-inch game hog. We got the 4-inch and the 5-inch rage hog.
Yeah.
We're gonna need a bigger binder.
We are.
Because that I have to. Oh, and the mid-size brush hog.
Yeah.
I have to have all those sizes, and especially in the spring. Or if I'm Carolina rigging.
Yeah.
It's my comfort zone.
Yeah. Well,
I'll work on that.
There you have it. That's Tackle Talk. We love talking tackle. Yeah. That's what we do,
Good
man.
Stuff.
And we could do that all night long. But we got some other things we want to discuss. And
yeah,
we're going to move right into something that it's it's fall and it's early fall for us here in the Northeast. And things are starting to change a little bit. And we're starting to throw a lot of hard baits, all kinds of hard baits. And this is going to be our talk for the night is early fall hard baits, how to throw them, what we're throwing, where we're throwing. And, this is you guys that are crankbait fishermen, you guys that are jerkbait fishermen, you guys that are hard bait guys. This is your time of the year coming up here from here now until it gets too cold for them to hit it, which is I found to be about 38-degree water temperature.
Depends on the weather.
You can catch them on these things, and it gets better and better and better all the way through this fall season. So exciting stuff.
Yeah, well, right now, I see a great comment here from Kirk. Lipless season, baby. I mean, you're speaking my language, Kirk.
It is.
You're speaking my language. We talk about the lipless crankbait. We just can't heap enough praise on it. Of course, we talk about winding it. We talk about yo-yoing it.
Yeah.
One of our pros that we follow heavily and just think this is one of the best fishermen on planet Earth is a huge Lipless crankbait guy. Just won the Potomac.
Yeah.
Throwing a bunch of stuff, but he was also throwing this guy right here. If I can pick it up. One of the best river tidal water guys, but I don't like to pigeonhole him. He's won on the Potomac numerous times in MLF Toyota Series. He's won on the Mississippi River. He's won in Florida, so he's not like pigeonholed. But this bait is always in his rotation. His name's Brian Schmidt. He's from Deal, Maryland. He's a charter boat captain, full-time Elite Series pro, but he is a lipless cranking machine. And whether you're throwing, I'm very partial to this bait. Also, you can't throw them all. You can't throw them all. You can try, and there are situational lipless baits. And in the fall, you need to get your lipless bait game on. Right now, you need to be like throwing this lipless bait right now on every trip that you have in the situations where it calls for it. Now, I like to throw it in, open water, any presence of bait fish, and I will experiment with, the yo-yo. I'm going to get tangled up in everything on this countertop. I'll experiment in the yo-yo. This time of year, a little more violent. I'll straight wind this thing. But you also have to experiment with your size. So let me expand on that a little bit with Mike's help here. So Mike and I in the last couple falls have had some epic fall bites with lipless where we were struggling. I mean, we literally it was the light switch bait for us. And what I'm talking about is them damn gizzard shad.
Yeah.
And when you're around a body of water that has multiple shad spawns and you have 2-3 different size classes, plus the various adult size classes, you can have 5 different size classes of gizzard shad. That size of that lipless is what it's all about. Now, let me see what I can find here to demonstrate that size, because I carry 2 boxes like this of lipless baits. I literally carry 2 boxes like this. That's
pretty sexy right there.
Yeah, this one here is
that's been around the block a few times.
This one's been around the block a little bit. I mean, some of these baits are, have received multiple sets of hooks. I mean, that one there needs hooked up. You can see the hooks are all dinged. The back hook's already been changed. I mean, these things just straight catch fish, but you got to have some different size class. So this is the 5/8 Aruku. It's going to give you a little bit bigger profile. Another one of my all-time favorites is the TN70 from Jackal. These baits are pretty close in weight. This is a 1/2 ounce. But look at that.
Yeah, that's
when you get around them pesky shad.
That right there is a picture that could change your whole entire day right there.
No doubt. Of
course, your red eye.
Yeah, baits that do different things.
Yeah.
So the red eye will fall horizontal, and it will hunt and wander its way down. The Spro does that to a certain extent. The Jackal goes straight down with that tungsten mouth. These two stand on their nose. That's why they're so great for yo-yoing. This, you got to have this in your kit, man. If those shad are around, you have to go through the rotation. Okay. I try not to fish.
That last one you held up there, that was a red eye shad.
Yep.
That's a winding bait, man. That thing winds so good. So good to control the depth with that easily. Really like that a lot.
And then, of course, one of the best in the business for matching the hatch. And always have a couple of these in your box. The OG Bill Lewis 1/4 ounce. That's your 1/4.
Yep.
Just for size reference. Here's your 1/2. These are,
the old Bill Lewis, George, that people don't give it that love, but that's a burning bait, man. You can burn that really nice.
yeah, you can burn this bait. You can slow roll it.
Yeah, and but when you're looking for speed, that is the one that I would tie on for speed, because that thing just goes so good through the water and it has its own sound to it. That's another big thing with lipless baits, George, is the sound chambers. You got all different sounds. You got knockers, you got rattles, you got big rattles, you got tungstens, you got all kinds of sounds. And you'll settle in on some of them, on different ones. We've fell in love with the ones that you showed so far, but we have all kinds of different brands in our box, and for different sounds and different shapes and sizes. There you go.
So here's a red eye in a great fall color. And it's not giving it up. My man's not giving it up.
That's the tackle box shake. Everybody understands that. That right there, everybody understands that right there. That right there is the one you have to stop, slow down, pick it out.
Good. This guy here is a good color on a cloudy day. Anyways.
Yep.
That's Bill Lewis. I mean, that's red eye shad.
Shad. Natural shad.
But you might have to throw it like that.
George, everybody's feeling that pain right there. They all know it. They all know it.
It's part of the allure of fishing.
Yeah. Well, you're trying to get literally 175 baits in that box. So it's made for like 25.
That's an exaggeration.
And that's what you do.
So here's a couple keys on the lipless. Couple keys to lipless. Experiment with the speed, especially around a lot of bait. Okay, so early fall, a lot of times a fast-paced retrieve is better. Okay, experiment with that. Experiment with the yo-yo. Never, ever, ever rule out a yo-yo retrieve. Now, you may stroke it a little harder than you do when the water's cold and really jack it up there, 3, 4, 5, 6 feet, but experiment with that. And also pay attention to the size of the bait, okay? Stay with those bait fish colors. Stay with your chromes, your gold, your barring, the stuff we showed you.
It's good for ripping out of grass, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, and you need to match your tackle to what you're doing. Now, when I'm open water fishing, I do a lot of times. My range of rods is huge in open water. I'll go from a straight up glass crankbait rod to a fast taper, medium heavy, all purpose rod. A lot of it has to do with the pound test I'm using. A lot of times I'll get sneaky in that open water and I'll drop down to a 10-pound fluorocarbon in open water where I'm just fishing rock. I will do that. I will do that a lot. I will definitely do that a lot. I have had no breakage issues, but I have had getting a lot of bites issues. And then when I get into shallow cover where I'm winding or grass, I'll go right to the 15 fluoro. So have a couple different rods. Don't be like completely mind locked into I have to use this rod, because guess what? You don't. So that's step one. Now cranking, and I think cranking is not quite as popular as it used to be, which is good for us crankers. So
yeah, amen. I mean, you guys that are scopers, you're got away from this stuff, and us guys who are still chucking and winding, we're thanking you for that.
well, the other thing is, a lot of shallow water anglers don't crank. And I'm telling you, that's a mistake. So this time of the year, early fall, you're going to be anywhere from a wake style bait. Like this Mega Bass Over Rev crank. You're going to be into your shallow running crankbaits. And I'm not necessarily advocating all these colors, but I do throw spring crawl a lot. That's a 100 Bandit. And then, of course, we're going to square bill fish. Like, this is our go-to. I love shad pattern square bills this time of the year. I throw that 1.5 Strike King. That's a hard knock. I've had tremendous success on that. And then, of course, just a regular Strike King 1.5. Not exclusively locked completely into just, shad colors. I will throw, some crawfish colors and some other colors as well. So definitely pick up the square. Now, we're going to say some stuff here that's kind of obvious. The windy days, the rainy days, the nasty days when you're thinking about packing it in. Get on the wind-blown shore and develop some confidence and tie up your square bill and go to work. Go to work. Don't overrule shallow water of, 1 to 3 feet. Don't overrule that. Don't pigeonhole yourself. Okay. Don't pigeonhole yourself into like, well, I can't throw a flat side. No, you can. No, I can't throw up, a deeper. Yeah, you can. Just get up there and don't go home until you run that on those nasty days. Don't go home until you've given that crankbait a valiant effort. Slightly deeper shad patterns. This is one of my OG favorites right here. Caught a lot of fish on this thing. Always carry a bunch with me.
What's that called? Tennessee Shad?
Tennessee Shad Bandit. Love that color.
100 or 200?
That's a 200. And then, of course, the old school KVD in Sexy Shad. Let's see if we've got anything else interesting in here. So, shallow cranking in this time of the year. A lot of times I'm looking for rock. A lot of times I'm looking for, I love the wind. I love the wind. Anything that's creating any type of current. Love anything with any type of current. Love off-colored water. Those bait fish, even crawfish, they're all dislodged. Okay, when that wave action's coming in on that shore, this is all 101 stuff, but it's overlooked. How do I know it's overlooked? Because more times than not, on a weekend, I'll be whacking fish with my friends. Maybe Mike's along or whoever, and we're stacking them on these banks, and there's nobody around. So don't overlook it. I mean, it's really good stuff. One of my other crankbaits that we really rely on, all of us do here, is the Fritz side. This is a multi-tool. This is your Leatherman multi-tool, shallow water, fish catching machine. Just deadly. Honey shad. all his different shad colors. Never overlook chartreuse blackback. Money bait. Another probably one of my most interesting colors for a cloudy fall day is the Spro Little John in that it's not nasty shad, it's
Big pen or something like that.
No, it's well, I'll think of it.
Cellmate. That thing, man, that
it
thing
almost glows.
That thing
That's a killer, man.
I can't believe you got that out, because that thing right there, my friend,
that one's got some structural damage.
That's some OG. That thing's been around a long time. That's tidal water, lakes, rivers, streams.
Love it.
Wherever you go, that thing absolutely slays them, man, big time. So that's a cool thing. But what you notice there is you got a couple different boxes. You got square bills, you got shallows, then you got some flat side stuff in these boxes, and then these are boxes that we carry with us all the time. And you can see there's a lot of shallower diving stuff for this time of year, which we're carrying with us, because that's kind of what we're doing, but there's still some territory for your little bit deeper stuff, your 10 to 14 footers, your DT10s, your DT8s, your DT series baits, which we carry with us too. But like George said, that wind blow shoreline thing this time of year where it's pushing the shad up against the banks, it is just a fun time to go cranking. It's a fun time to throw.
And pay attention to
baits.
The clues, man. Pay attention to the clues. Kirk added in a great comment about paying attention to the birds. So let's talk about birds for a minute. First of all, if there's a group of gulls anywhere around you and you don't investigate, I mean, you cannot even be led to water. You're just not dialed in. They don't just raft up for their own entertainment. They're sitting on top of bait. That bait may be deep. That bait may be inactive, but it's bait. And the predators are around the bait. So always pay attention to any type of gull action, whether they're paddling around or whether they're actually flying in groups and looking and diving. That's a little more obvious. Also, pay very close attention to your shoreline birds. If you see a shoreline with a whole bunch of herons on it or egrets, that's because there's a lot of minnows getting pushed up on that shoreline. You need to go pay attention to that. Pay attention to your clues, and be rigged and ready. Now, the square bill, I like to throw that on a crankbait rod, as opposed to, unless I'm fishing grass. If I'm fishing a square bill and grass, then I go 15 fluoro on a fast taper, medium heavy, multi-purpose graphite rod, because I can pop it out of the grass. If I'm fishing hardcover, I'm all about a crankbait rod. It can be a graphite. I like a medium heavy moderate in the 7-foot range. It can be glass. Whatever you're comfortable with. There is no correct answer. But if you get into grass, that crankbait rod is going to become less efficient, because it's all about cleaning the bait. George Ashbridge kicks in with a really good tip. Barn swallows. When you see a big group of barn swallows come swooping down across the water and back and forth, they're on insects. So, that's another feeding opportunity for the fish. And even when they're on mayflies, you can catch them on crankbaits. But it's probably not where we're going with that. We're going to be a little more oriented towards like Topwater and what have you there. So yeah, that is your shallow cranking. Obviously, you can't. You just can't. You got to. If you're not doing it, man, just get with it because you can't. You can't put enough faith in that. Now we're going to hit the next box. And remember, we're talking early fall where we're at now. And this box is one that you're going to have in your boat, and that's going to be your jerkbaits. That's going to be your jerkbaits. And you're, depending on your level of jerkbait fishing, you're going to have your jerkbaits organized different ways. I like to carry a Mega Bass box, and then I like to carry a Lucky Craft box, and then I like to carry a mixed brand box. Those are my comfort zone baits. But here's the key. You need different lips. So you need your standard lip, and you need your deep lip. And depending on your fishery, like Mike and I are going to fish a reservoir on the lower end of the river this weekend, you got to have these ready to go. You're going to have fish that are shallower, fish that are deeper, that are relating to deeper bait. You need to get close to them. So you're going to have your +1, you're going to have your regular lip. The other thing you have to have, again, because of those different sizes of shad, is the different sizes of jerk. You got to have the juniors. And you got to have them in both lip sizes. That's just how this game's played. So as you're building your collection, take stock of what you have and keep in mind, hey, I was out last weekend and those fish were in 10 to 12 foot of water and I just couldn't bring them up to my, my standard jerkbait. So get a couple +1s and add them to your arsenal. But the jerkbait this time of the year, straight money, absolute straight money. Colors, cloudy days, your matte shads.
That was money there, man.
That's a great color. Sunny days.
Tennessee.
I'm really into the HT Edo Tennessee shad.
That thing's caught like a million fish right there.
The Wagasaki.
Wagasaki's awesome.
If you're a little farther around, if your bait fish tend to be of the perch variety and the bluegill variety, you got to have the bars on the side. This bad boy's done serious work right here. Things like that. And I always like to have some impact colors with me. And that would be particularly useful for smallmouth. And that's your chartreuse back.
GDP turned us on to that one.
That's a good one.
That's an awesome bait.
And then you'll have your favorites.
That's my foggy day killer.
This right here is very, very good in low light conditions.
When it's foggy, man.
Stain reaction.
Flat out smashes them. But
the purpose is get familiar with the baits. You gotta have your jerkbait tied on. And it's like any other time of the year. We're not really going to get into the cadence, the operation of it. I will say the depth in this time of the year is more important than anything. If that bait is deeper, one thing I learned, that bait has to go deeper. If that bait is shallower, then my bait cannot go deep. So I usually have 2 jerkbait rods tied up, one with a standard and one with a +1. And then I'll just adjust from there. Do not be afraid to change on the fly frequently. Just do it.
Yeah, it's funny, funny you say that, George, because, even with crankbaits, even with jerkbaits, it's almost like a triggering device where we always start with our natural colors. We try to match the hatch. We do all that kind of stuff. We match the day. We match the conditions. But then you got that outlier. You got that day where the chartreuse kicks in. You got that day where the oranges will fly in there, the orange bellies, and you just got to keep them honest. We always said that's what we do. We keep them honest. Like if there's two guys in a boat, we'll be throwing, our natural colors, but then somebody will just have an outlier color and they'll try that. And there's days where that outlier color, Algany bone, for instance, in clear water, bright chartreuse belly, clear side, we'll just have a exceptional day with that, So
a lot of it has to do with your gut instinct.
Yeah.
What triggers me, so I always wonder how do I end up catching them on a jerkbait today when I caught them so good on a crankbait yesterday or a spinnerbait or what have you. You just got to trust your instincts, and what I mean by that is, and all fishermen are guilty of this, have your tackle rigged up and ready to go, have your crankbait rod tied up, have your rattle trap rod tied up, have your topwaters tied up, have your jerkbaits tied up, tie them up, get them out of the rod locker, lay them on the deck. Because if you don't, that little act will prevent you from making an adjustment. I mean, nothing infuriates me more than to talk about it and not do it. And a lot of times it's just an instinct, or it's like a common sense thing. Well, I've been cranking all morning, caught a few fish. That bite kind of died. I'm still around bait. I've gone through several different crankbaits. Wait a minute. Maybe I should yo-yo a trap. Or wait a minute, I feel like I should fish a jerkbait. Or wait a minute.
Yeah, maybe I should
do it.
Maybe I should reel a trap for the noise and the sound to try to trigger the strikes.
It's so your decision making is based upon your catalog of experiences. And that catalog's never complete.
Right.
Like that catalog is never complete. Okay. Just don't rule anything out, and we talked about this last week. If you recall, we were talking about the fluke and the double fluke rig on our rig of the week. And we talked about have that double fluke rig tied up and ready to go. That's the same concept, because you're going to get that little voice that says, man, I should throw a double fluke rig here. Or you're going to have schooling fish on a fish that you're catching, that you're reeling in. Man, I should throw my double fluke rig here. Just go with your instincts, because you're drawing from your own experiences. And guess what? You may build a new experience. Like I remember when I learned how to yo-yo a trap. I was terrible at it, but the fish were biting it really good. So I got pretty good at it pretty quick because they were cooperating. Well, once you have that experience and that confidence level, it's on, like Mike and I fish a bunch of tournaments in the fall and the winter. Our cold water season last year, and this is how much I value a trap. Every fish that we weighed in that I caught, that I contributed, came on yo-yo in a trap. All of them.
Yeah.
So, have that jerkbait ready. I'm telling you, I have two. I have a shallow and a +1 ready to go for my tournament on Sunday. They will both get used for that very reason.
Yeah.
I'm going to answer something that's nagging me. I might be scoping. I might be looking at fish. I might be fishing a grass edge outside of it with bait. Hey, what about a jerkbait? Well, let's find out. 6 feet deep. Let's go with a standard. Boom. Done. Pick it up, go. 100 yards later, not such a good idea. By then, I'll have formulated my next. But somewhere along the line, you're going to get that bite. You're going to make that adjustment. You're going to get that bite. You're going to feel really good about that. You're going to catalog that. Right, Mike?
Oh, absolutely. Confidence is everything. And we talk about it all the time, George, fishing your gut instinct. Your gut will tell you to try it. And people laugh at us for carrying 30 rods with us, but but we do it for a reason. We have every rig tied up, and we can just reach in there and grab whatever, an Alabama rig, grab a double fluke rig. It's rigged up, ready to go. It's jerk baits, it's all that stuff.
Keep going. Just keep going a little shallower.
Yeah.
Go shallower and shallower with each one.
Yeah, absolutely. And
what's the last frontier?
You come up to your jerk baits, and then you got your deep diving jerk baits, your shallow diving jerk baits, your wake baits, and all of a sudden now you got topwater.
Oh boy! And if you don't like topwater fishing in the fall, well, this box right here is broken on the lid, and it has no latches left on it. But it's got the badge. It's got the shield. Okay. Check this out. Look at that candy store. Holy! We got the old. We got the new. We got a few things we're going to talk about here. So in the old, and we're not going to dwell on this because we've done 4,000 hours on this. Let me just take the lid off because all the hinges are broken.
You think we need a new box?
We're going to talk about one of the most deadly fall topwaters there is. The popper. The old popper. Now, I want to share with you, going back to that preparedness, you're going to need a couple topwater rods. Okay? You should be throwing a popper. Now, you'll find out whether or not you should be throwing it for long, but if you're around small shad, and shad that are orienting to the shoreline and boat docks and seawalls in shallow water, this kisses. This is subtle. Now, obviously, probably the most famous topwater for this time of the year is the walking bait. Okay, so whatever. I don't even know if I can get them out of this box. Here we go. So we got the Hard Knock Strike King, deadly. We got the Super Spook, deadly. We got the Shower Blow, deadly. Different sizes, again. Super Spook Jr. But also subtle, not so subtle. So these are big, loud, in your face. One we don't talk about very often is the Sammy. Very subtle. Very quiet. Very good for those still days. And then, of course, the one we can't talk about enough, the Shower Blow. I mean, yeah, the Giant Dog X. Can't talk about it enough. So the walking bait is vitally important to that type of fishing. Now, you got to be ready to plop. There's a bunch of ploppers in here. This is the time of the year that we plop and we buzz. So let me get these baits out of my hand here. So plopper, standard plopper. We talked about the Screaming Chapo, and a buzz bait. Now your plopper, you're going to run some different sizes. I tend to like the more ghosty colors when it's real clear and sunny, but my bread and butter is a white belly and a more opaque color. So I really like rat-a-tat-tat with the white belly, that opaque. Now, obviously, this one's works pretty good because there's no finish left on it. That's good when the water's real clear, calmer. But the plopper is something that you just rock and roll with. You just go, 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 go. Cover in water. Every cast on a new piece of water. Same thing with the buzzbait. We talked about the buzzbait not too long ago. We're not going to dwell on that tonight. But a buzzbait with either a toad or a little smaller, like twin tail kick and crawl type bait, very, very, very good. In this exact time of the year. And also with throwing these kind of baits, you're covering a lot of water. You're going to cross paths with more bait fish. Okay? Which means you're going to cross paths with more bass. So if things aren't looking right, this is your next level. Have been playing around a little bit with the new Rapala. Not to get sidetracked here, but I've been throwing the new Rapala a little bit. And it's not as loud as I would have thought it is, but it's got a nice sound to it. It's a little bit bigger profile. It's a 110. And they call it the clap tail. It basically has an inline spinner blade that kind of floats back here and then a metal tail that hits it. So when these become available, of course, we'll talk about those. I've been playing with it in the meantime. Not bad. Yeah, so Topwater breakdown. Popper. Can be different sizes of poppers. You know, they're all about the same. World Pop, Rico, Splash-Its, that kind of stuff. Walking bait. Spook, Super Spook Jr., Giant Dog X. Experiment with the sizes, experiment with the sound. I'm a big proponent of Giant Dog X. A lot of times I put a feather on the back. This one needs updated. That bait's caught a ton of fish. And then plopper, go. Put the plopper on and go. Don't fish slow, fish fast, cover vast amounts of water. If you're in a bay or a cove or a creek, those fish are in the fronts of those. Come down the main lake, make the turn in. If you don't get bit, shoot across to the other side and make the turn out and go back down the main lake and run that kind of stuff for a while. Run seawalls, run boat docks, run main lake, run the mouths of creeks, run the mouths of bigger pockets. That is what's fun with that plopper. Experiment with your 90 to your 110 size is your bread and butter. Yeah, and just look. This is your prospecting bait, and you catch good fish on it.
Yeah, that's a key to statement right there. Is you'll be surprised at the size of fish you catch on that walking bait, and all the topwaters. They catch a big fish. They're a very aggressive type of bait that catches a big fish. Awesome.
I just think you got to be ready with it. Hard baits, early fall, go together like peas and carrots. I mean, spend as much time as you can cranking, jerkbait fishing, and what have you. All the things we talked about tonight. All right. So that was an overview. Thought it would be fun.
Yeah, it was great. Great information. Kind of refreshes us for the fall, which we're coming into right now, and allows us to refresh our mind and get ourselves ready to go. Big time.
Well, I can promise you, when I fish my tournament on Sunday,
I'll be throwing
what we just talked about.
We'll be throwing them.
Is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And plus mixing in some grass. and that will be buzzbait.
Right on.
So anyways, that was kind of the thought tonight. We wanted to talk about hard baits in the early fall. And
now, George,
they're problem solvers.
Yeah. Now, George, you started it. You got to continue it. We need to have the rig of the week.
Hell yeah.
Rig of the week. Rig of the week. I don't know. We have to come up with something for that.
Yeah, we need to get.
But we need to rig.
You're terrible at it.
Rig
so
of the week.
Somebody else.
Yeah, we need to have somebody singing that for us. We need to have like a whole band over here where I could just kind of go over and kind of pan over to somebody and have a band or something.
We'll get the guy that cut the soundtrack for our Cigar Guys podcast to come up with that.
Yeah. So we need to know, George, what is the rig of the week this week, and what can you tell us about it?
I'm going to go kind of mainstream, but I'm going to spend a few minutes on some options and different ways of doing it. And of course, what I'm talking about, if you haven't guessed yet, which you probably haven't because it was pretty vague, is the Nico rig. Not every rig of the week episode is going to be a revolutionary, game-changing event because there's not that many rigs. But I think it's important, like, if you don't Nico rig, I really feel as though you need to Nico rig. And I really believe that if you don't Nico rig and you try it, I truly believe that your fishing will improve because of it. I just believe that. I'm going to recommend that what you do is rig one of these up, have it ready to go. Again, that old adage of like, if you want to be ready to Carolina rig, you want to do that ahead of time. If you want to be ready to Nico rig, you want to do that ahead of time. For the simple matter that, it's a bit of a time-consuming thing to do. And you're going to just come up with reasons why you shouldn't do it. Okay? And we don't want you to do that. But we're also going to show you some options. So the first thing we're going to show you, let me rig this up here real quick. Get this out of my way. First thing we're going to show you is the standard Nico rig. So we're going to need a couple things here. We're going to need a worm. Any straight tail worm will do. That one's got a little bit of a bend in it. Senko. I love the Nico rig of Senko, but I really like to just, at the end of the day, some sort of 6-inch straight tail worm. This is a big bite bait, Nico Rama, just like the worm. I like the missile bait, magic worm. I love a trick worm. They're all good. So we're going to need that. We're going to need an O-ring. Okay, let me get my O-ring tool here real quick. I like the O-ring tool just because it's so much more efficient. And when you're catching a lot of fish, you're re-rigging a few times. This is just more efficient. So we're going to just go over some basics here. The basics of the Nico rig. And then we're going to show you some options. Now, this is a standard O-ring. Standard O-ring tool. Just a, Eagle Claw, VMC, whatever. Just like you'd put on your Senko for a wacky rig. Because really, a Nico rig is a wacky rig with a nail weight in it. If we can just get real for a minute. This worm has a couple slots already kind of pinched in there for your O-ring. Whatever. I usually go between the two of them. Like that. And then this is how simple this is. We need a nail weight. Where everything's got staples in it and is hard to open. All right, so we're going to do this nail weight, and then we're going to show you the proper hook placement. And then you're good to go. Now, spinning rod is what's recommended. I'm not going to get bogged down on your choice of line. I am going to say I have become a bit of a convert to braid deleter. I mean, I was an all fluorocarbon guy for a long time. I'm not going to have, but I've got a couple reels to respool. I'm not going to have too much straight fluoro anymore. I'm really, and especially for this type of fishing. So this is finesse, touchy-feely, that extra sensitivity of that braid. Very nice. This is a sweeping hook set, or a lot of times a reel set. Reel and sweep. That no stretch of that braid, very nice. So we're going to have our Nico weight. You can use lead. You can use tungsten, whatever makes you happy. Like that. We're just going to push that in the nose of the worm. Like that. Now, hook placement. So I'm a big fan of a weed guard hook. Okay? So I'm going to show you two different options. And I really want, on the rig of the week, I want to keep it as simple as possible. So the rig of the week, even the rigs that are quote unquote complex, I don't want them to be complex. So we have the straight shank hook with the fluorocarbon weed guard. I like a weed guard. If you don't like a weed guard, snip it off or buy them without a weed guard. That's cool. I generally trim these down a little bit, but that's neither here or there. The other style of hook that's popular is the short shank, sort of wider gap. Owner makes a fabulous hook. A lot of people call this a wacky hook because it's, in essence, that's what we're doing. I'm not going to sit here and tell you one's better than the other. I mean, I have my favorite. I like the straight shank, but there's not a huge difference there. Okay. And then what I like to do is I like to think of this like I'm Texas rigging it. So, you know, I want my hook eye on my weight end. Right? So if I was Texas rigging it, my hook would be in there like that. This is just the way my mind works on this. So what I do is I come over, I want to go on the top side here. And I come over on my on the side that my point would be on. And that's just how I do. Now here's the deal with the Nico rig. Why is the Nico rig so great? What's the big deal with the Nico rig? So when you're in the water, this is down on the bottom, okay? If you didn't get bit by the time you got to the bottom. When you tension up on this worm, now it's not going to do it in the air, but when you tension up on this worm, you're kind of pulling this worm up like this. So you're standing this worm up, and this tail will come up, and then it'll fall back down. And then you stand it back up again because it's weighted on the bottom, and you're pulling. You're not pulling. See, if you're pulling down here, you'd pull the worm like this. But since you're pulling up higher, you're pulling the worm up like that. And your tail waves around a little bit, and then you kill it and let it fall back down. That is why the Nico rig is so deadly. Nico rig a crawl. Get that crawl to stand up like this. Nico rig, whatever you want a Nico rig, but that is kind of the whole nut of the Nico rig. And there's different types of hooks for that. You know, there's the straight shank. Of course, we just looked at the little short shank wide gap. Very, very good. There's different types of O-rings. So we looked at this regular O-ring. Let me show you some options. We have, and this is pretty cool. We have the Mustad O-ring. And what's cool about the Mustad O-ring is if I want a Nico rig in the proper orientation of the hook in line with the worm, right? That's how I want a Nico rig. I just put my O-ring on and do it like that. If I want a Racky rig and put this O-ring on, now I can put my hook through this way. Of course, I got one that's completely glued shut like this. And if this is on the worm, then my hook is crosswise to the worm. And some wacky rig fishermen prefer that. So you can wacky rig or Nico rig with that Mustad. Pretty cool. The other one that's really become a big deal is the VMC crossover ring. And I love the innovation everyone's poured into this wacky / Nico rig. That just lets you know how important it is. So let's look at the VMC. Mike and I find ourselves using this one a lot. Mike uses it more than I do. What do you think about it, Mike?
Well, I mean, you know, it's easy to use. So that's really for me. I can take one, put it on my bait, and be back in the water in, you know, literally minute of time because of that tool right there. And what's really cool about that tool is it has a little reservoir down in the handle, down in these little pocket areas right here that holds, you know, some rig. So it's just one deal.
Hold up. The VMC crossover pliers and crossover wings are the perfect combo when Nico rigging or wacky rigging.
Yeah.
The innovative design maximizes the effectiveness.
Yeah.
To operate, blah, 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 blah. I don't see reservoir on here anywhere.
You don't see the reservoir for
for
the extra ones? What would you call that?
Allow me to dig deeper.
Would you say that's a backpack of?
Well, when I think of reservoirs, I think of like fishing in them. I don't see any water in this.
Would you say pockets?
I would personally call it a secret hidden compartment that very few people know about.
Yeah.
Except for the people that
I don't know.
If you know, you know.
I don't know. I thought reservoir was a cool word.
Well,
you don't have to be a dick about it. You really don't.
I'm just pointing out that again, reading this beautiful presentation.
Anyway, I like it because, you know, it's one of them tools that floats around in the boat and it has everything together.
Dual channel hood.
Reservoir.
No. All right.
Anyway.
But I thought maybe you were going to point out the fact that it's wider.
Yeah. I was getting there.
Do you think that's better for bait life? Or do you not notice?
It's up in the air. I like the O-ring for wacky rigging because it allows more movement in the body.
Oh.
Because you're pinching on a smaller spot, so it pinches that off. But
So what we have here with this crossover ring, people, much like I just demonstrated,
Very versatile.
much like I just demonstrated with this O-ring. So we have a little O-ring on top of a big O-ring. That's our wacky orientation. See the hooks going through the little O-ring? And then that's for wacky. See the worms going this way, so we're crosswise. If you care about such things. And then if you go under the O-ring, which is what I do for everything, that would be correct orientation for Nico rigging. Because I'm pulling my bait with the worm. I'm pulling my hook is in line with the worm. Right? In other words, if this hook was Texas rigged, it would be on here like this, in essence, with the hook out the back. You follow my meaning there?
Yeah.
Now, this is what this crossover ring does. It has this way and this way. You don't go under the band. You can, but you go through the holes in it. So you can either go under the band or through the holes. So the point is, without just going completely off the rails like I have,
you have a lot of options.
you have crossover rings. You have offset Nico rings. You have standard O rings. You have all are right, all are good.
Yep.
But this baby right here and this package, this deal right here of pulling that worm up and letting it fall down and shaking that worm up and letting it fall, this is money. So the rig of the week for this week is the Nico rig. And many of its variations. There's a lot more we can go into on the Nico rig. And if anybody has, if you have questions on these rigs, please reach out. If you're in the neighborhood, please stop by.
Yeah.
I'll roll. I mean, I got different hooks I can show you.
Yeah.
I have some hybrid stuff.
Yep.
I mean, we can take this thing deep into the weeds.
It is. And the O-ring thing, is a personal preference for different situations. And it's very unique that VMCs is a little wider and there's the narrow O-ring for this and the wider one. But
but at the end of the day, you're an O-ring guy.
At the end of the day, I guess I am an O-ring guy. I mean, I like the quick ease of operation of the VMC and the durability of that wider ring. It gives you
and the reservoir.
Yeah, and the reservoir. But the wider ring gives you a lot more durability. So when they're really on, I mean, when they're eating that thing, but when you really want the ultimate amount of action, now let me tell you something.
And you wacky rig as much as you Nico
rig,
if not more.
I do.
You probably wacky rig more.
Well, I probably do a little bit, but all I'm saying about the O-ring is I think when it's fallen, there's such a small pivot point that you get a lot more, undulation.
That's valid.
And
I mean, you got your big boy words
tonight. I got some words tonight, man. That's just so cool. But the problem with that is I've fished it and caught a fish and then made another cast, and that band cut the worm right in half.
Yes.
So you're going to go through more baits. The wider band of the VMC gives you durability and
that's what I've been trying to get at with you.
And that's what I've been trying to get at. That's a big thing with that.
So in your opinion, the VMC crossover ring gives more life to the worm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Not only that, but it's pretty cool and convenient. That tool is very convenient.
Well,
when we were whacking them the other day, George, when we were out, did you see how fast I was switching out? You didn't take notice of that. I mean, I was like a cobra.
It was good.
I was like a cobra, man. It
was good.
Boom, back on the water when we were hammering it. When it counted.
I noticed you switched over to that crossover plier.
I did. That's what I'm saying. When that happened, when we were whacking them and we were under pressure, I went to that thing and it was like bam, bam, right back on the water. Bam, bam. Really cool. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, there's a lot more to the Nico rigging puzzle. There's a lot more learning that goes in. Like I say, if you ever want to get
break it down deep,
you want to crawl
you
deeper in the weeds,
you want to deep dive, stop in the shop or give us a call, and we'll deep dive all day long with you.
We certainly will.
And well, what a great show tonight. Too bad Nick wasn't here to enjoy it with us. Thank you guys so much for staying on with us tonight for the show. Hope you get a little something out of it. The hard bait section is very, very important. Really cool. We wanted to bring that to light because we're coming into it. Get that fresh in your brain. You know, have it there. Have it right there, ready to roll. And then, of course,
I got news for you.
Of course, the rig of the week.
I'm going to have crankbaits tied up.
Yeah.
I'm going to have jerkbaits tied up. I'm going to have topwaters tied up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have ploppers and buzzbaits tied up.
Oh, I guarantee you.
And I'm going to have my Nico rig tied up.
Yep.
All ready to go with my Carolina rig. All strapped down on the front deck.
30 rods.
It's going to be ugly.
Yep.
But we're going to have a ball. Can't wait to fish the tournament with you on Sunday.
Yep. It's going to
really looking forward to it.
It's going to be a good time. You know, so that's why we do this. And then of course the rig of the week, which is cool. We're going to have another one great for you next week. And eventually we're going to run out of rigs, huh, George?
I'm inventing some as we go along.
Are we going to go into saltwater stuff? Because I got some great saltwater rigs.
No, I got some stuff I'm working on.
All right.
For down the road.
Something you're going to invent and bring into
the market? I've already got it.
Oh, okay.
I'm just not ready to let it go.
Right. Well, there you go, guys. Have a good one. Enjoy your night tonight and enjoy your weekend. Go fishing. Have fun.
Beautiful weather this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And, I hope you get out on the water. And until next time, we'll catch you on the next Tackle Shop Live.
Sunny day, right there you took my breath away. Young and pretty, was it just a dream? The next day you called me up, you told me I'm your little buttercup. You came over and you fell into my arms. Well, I know what I feel. Please tell me your love is real. You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down low and I am blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. I woke up all soaked in sweat, with chills running down my neck. I'm going crazy from just the thought of you.